Kalimera, Kalimera, Kalimera. How are you today? The next part of our adventure, we're going to cruise into the Aegean Sea. My favorite sea, by the way. I think it's often forgotten in the annals of history for its importance. Anyway, we're going to island hop. We'll see how that goes. And really my only regret is I won't be able to take a selfie with my hair blowing in the wind. Anyway, the boat's about to board, so we'll see you on the islands. To get to most Greek islands, you have to board a boat at the Port of Piraeus under an early morning sunrise. It was once the most important port in all of the Mediterranean, but time and economics has made it a transportation hub for tourism. Once you get to the open seas, it's all blue, all beautiful, and very, very windy. Check out what happens here. I'll give you all 3 takes of this, but there was a wind advisory for the back deck. You could be out there at your own risk. Here I am, trying to walk against the wind. It was a challenge, and it was also a lot of fun. But what was tougher was walking with the wind. I thought I was going to get thrown off the back of the boat here. I don't recall reading about this in preparation for the trip in any of the travel guides, but I would highly recommend it. It's a great activity for cruising the Aegean Sea. As you approach Mykonos, you're immediately awed by its beauty. Here's the view from my hotel room. I looked over a courtyard and the town center. The town's real name is called Fabrikio, but I've never heard anybody call that. Off to the left is the old port, which is now a destination for cruise ships. You might want to take a note that everything is white. So to get around this maze, you need landmarks. I always look for that yellow umbrella to get back to my hotel room. I made a right there, and I would just go down this street until I saw the courtyard and made a left. That's really the only way that you could navigate this maze. And the street scene, which I'll speed up, is strictly international tourism. There's very few Greeks and absolutely no Greek being spoken. What is spoken is just about every other language. In fact, the only Greeks there are the Greeks that work there, and they prefer openly that you speak to them in English. And not unlike kangaroos, people seem to travel in troops. They hop from store to store, 5-star restaurant to 5-star restaurant, and expensive nightclub to expensive nightclub. They dress to be seen and not to communicate. Just steps away from all the opulence is the back alley of the town center. This is where working class Greeks hang their laundry and raise their families. At night, they rest in front of their doorsteps, and if you get lost and travel down this path, you are clearly not welcome. In fact, they instruct you on how to get back to the main area. Of course, my favorite store was the local fruit store, where I could pick up Coca-Cola Zero and a bunch of fruit for the day's journey. I thought I bonded with the guy, and when I asked him to be part of the video, he said, "What am I, a chicken in a farm?" I have to say, Mykonos is a walker's paradox. The weather is beautiful, but the roads are brutal. Check this out. Look how close cars come to you. It's amazing. I got hit by 3 rearview mirrors in 3 days. Now check out this bus. Check out how close he came to me. And what's really interesting is that these guys get mad at you. They want to know why you're walking on the streets. They tell me that I should be taking cabs to beach like everyone else. Once you get out of town, it gets a little bit better. And you experience the phenomenon of what I call pop-up beaches. You just look over to your right and you see a beautiful, beautiful beach. And the town people don't even think it's that nice. And just a little bit up the road is another pop-up beach. Spectacular view, beautiful scenery, wonderful climate, and people sort of say, it's all right. And the higher you get, the windier it gets. I tried to do a stand-up. Check out what happened.
I gotta tell you, it's so windy here in Mykonos that it's hard to find a place to do a good stand-up. Stuff blows all over the place.
My second favorite beach was in the town of Enros. It's a municipal beach, but most of the beach is only open to the patrons of the hotels that occupy them. Townies are allowed, but only at the outer fringes. But when you get there, it sort of explodes into this beautiful, clear beach. Most of these people are international. Again, very little Greek spoken, if any. It's one of the few sand beaches in Mykonos, and the water is a great temperature. It's like bath water. I sat in that water literally all day. You could just swim back and forth. The current isn't strong enough to make you work hard. And the scenery is magnificent. What more can you really ask for from a beach? Now, take note of the white pillars on the right-hand side of the screen. I had no idea what they were, but they just sort of stick out there. When I was done swimming, I asked someone what they were all about. They told me that these were where the local residents were allowed to sit. You could put your stuff on there to make sure it was safe. I was neither a resident or a patron, but I took full advantage of it. You can easily idle the day away just sitting there. It's very relaxing, and it feels like the weight of the world is not only off your shoulders, but had never been on your shoulders to begin with. I literally lost track of time when my guaranteed waterproof watch ruined as soon as I hit the water. All in all, it was a great day at the beach. My favorite beach, though, was the one in Psaru. This had the cleanest water I've ever seen. It was just amazing. The word Psaru is a derivative of the word fish, and you could see a lot of fish in the water, the kind that you would see in the fish tank at your dentist's office, and you would also see a lot of starfish there. And one other thing I liked was its name. Psaru is a fun name to say. I would walk around and ask people where and how to get to Psaru, and they would tell me, just walk down this road and you can't miss Psaru. But the best thing about Psaru was I was reminded of the important lesson of quality versus quantity. I had been in Mykonos for 3 days and really barely spoke to no one. On my way to this beach, I said kalimera to someone, and I eventually bumped into them in the water. They stuck out their hand, introduced themselves, and gave me a firm handshake.
You're not ready?
I thought I know.
Okay, 2 options for the first name.
Yeah.
Efi, E-F-I, or Ευθυμία, like you. It is Ευθυμία Χωρικάκου, the total name.
Okay.
Well, that's Effie, same name as my grandmother, and I'm Ethimios, same name as her grandfather. That was enough of a conversation starter to get to know each other. She had an easy laugh, a very confident personality. She was beautiful, expressive, and very easy to talk to. I was so happy that she approached me. And if I only spoke to one person in Mykonos, I'm so glad that it was her. It was my last day in Mykonos, and at about 3 o'clock she had to go to work. She worked at one of the hotels as a housekeeper. She was also very spiritual. She told me there was a reason why we met and that it wasn't by accident or coincidence. She knew that nothing was going to happen this time around, but hey, at least we became Facebook friends. And you know my motto, when you see things of beauty in Greece, you take selfies, lots and lots of selfies. She then took some pictures of me and we said goodbye. It was a fantastic, fantastic afternoon. As they say in Mykonos, the long, tranquil beach days just never seem to end. They just transition into nights. Well, this is the beach bar scene at Paradise Beach in Mykonos. It's actually world famous. There's a lot of action going on here.
I'd have to say the nightlife in Mykonos lives up to its billing.
This doesn't do as much for me as it once did, so I think I'm just going to grab a supreme ice cream cone and call it an early 2 a.m. night.
So that was Mykonos. Interesting place. Once I got acclimated, it was time to go. I might return. I'm thinking of coming back here.
At this point in my life, this doesn't do as much for me as it once did.
Off the Ikaria.
I think I'm going to go get an ice cream cone and call it an early 2 a.m. night.